When and where were your children born?
Well, our children were born all on Elbrun Avenue. Lori.
You can answer all of this because you did all the work and I had all the fun.
Lori, the firstborn, she was born in 1963. We were married in 1961. And it's interesting because when Catholic couples married, you normally had a child within the first 9 months of your marriage. And we didn't. And I would actually have people ask me,
What's wrong?
Why don't you have any children yet? And but eventually we gave in, and Lori, you came along, and our first bundle of joy. You were a beautiful baby, and little over, not quite 13 months later, Gary, you joined us, and you were another beautiful little baby.
We were then getting back into the good graces of the family at church.
And you used to be, we would keep you in a bassinet that was in the dining room, and it was a beautiful bassinet. Nana had bought the bassinet, and we had gotten the skirts and had that covered, and you would spend your days there, and then you would go upstairs into the cribs. They had a crib upstairs for each one of you. And then in 1968, Karen, you came along. Another little beautiful bundle of joy. And then 2 years later, Scott, you came along. And
you're a fat bundle of joy.
So Lori, you were about 8.5 pounds. Gary, you were the same. You were all 21 inches, except when we got to Karen. Karen, you were just tipped the scale at 6 pounds and 19 inches. And then when Scott came along, yes, he was like 9 pounds and 21 inches. So you kind of varied in your birth weight, but you were all beautiful bundles of joy, and we had wonderful, you were healthy, and we had wonderful years raising you, and look back on all those memories.
And Barbara, did you go back to work after the children?
Nope, I didn't. I was an at-home mom, and actually Dad took on one or two extra jobs.
Yeah, I worked, I was going to college at night, Fairleigh Dickinson, and then transferred over to Rutgers University. And I didn't really complete the 4 years of BS. I did get an associate out of Rutgers. And I also worked part-time. I worked full-time, a full-time job in Bendix and a part-time job in K's on weekends. And the little story of that was, here I am going to school nights and working 2 jobs, and I guess Lori was going to celebrate her 7-year-old birthday. She's going to be 7 years old. She asked me if I had time to come to her birthday party. So I figured it's 7 years old, and I looked at her and I said, "Oh, absolutely, hon." And then I thought about it, and wasn't around that much. And 2 jobs in school at night, a couple of nights a week. I decided I had to give up one of the jobs and spend some more time with my kids, and that's what I did.
But even though you were still busy working 2 jobs, you still had time to transform the kitchen. We knocked down walls, and we did that around the time that you were born, Karen, that Daddy put a whole new kitchen in there. And
Gary helped me with that.
Yeah, Gary, you used to take that hammer, that big hammer in your little hand, and you would wham those boards and cleared the
walls about 2.5 feet high.
Yeah, you would do that during the day when Daddy was at work. You'd come home and you'd have that done for him. So
that was good.
Yeah.
Okay.